Hello out there channel. Well, today's a little bit different. I'm showing you a video and doing a voiceover just to explain to you how I changed the chain on my Tiger 1050 Sport 2018. So I'm just showing you the items that I'd bought for this. In a previous video I explained that I had probably stretched the chain, and we'll see some of that later. So how do we go about changing the chain on this bike? First thing I had to do was remove the front sprocket cover, or basically get access to the chain. And you see this 36mm nut here in the middle. This needs to come off. Come back to that later. So basically I'm just gaining access to the chain, removing the hugger, and taking off well, the hugger in the front sprocket cover just to get to the sprockets. And I had to use various tools on this because getting to these screws in the inside of the hug is a little bit difficult. In this case I'm using an extended bar with a 1/4 inch drive or something like that, 3/8, 1/4 inch I think, 3/8, yeah. Yeah, some of the screws you have to get to with an Allen key because you can't get a tool in there. That's basically what I'm doing here. It's always a bit of a fumble, isn't it, getting this stuff off? And I mean, as I was saying in my previous video, what happened was I got something caught in the chain, and it stretched it, and I did tighten it up in an interim time just to give me a little bit of a quick fix, but it was obvious that I needed a new chain. Yeah, don't lose your bolts. So we've got access to the chain now. The good thing about this bike is you can take the rear you can take off the rear chain carrier sprocket, forgot the word for a second there, without removing the rear wheel. Once you've undone these, I think they're 13mm bolts, you can just pull the sprocket off over the hub, being a single-sided swing arm. It makes it a bit easier. So what I'm showing you here is that there is like a metal bend over tab. It's a locking tab, which I'm just showing you that you bend it back. I'd already done it by this stage, so that's why it looks flat already. And get a nice 36mm nut. Probably need an impact driver for this because it is on tight. I think it's 145 Newton meters. Just undid it with the impact driver. Took that off. Took the lock nut off. Took the tab washer off. I ended up getting a new one. I didn't want to reuse this one, so I got a new one, which you saw at the beginning of the video. And now I come to the point where I'm taking the chain off. So what I've did is I've just ground the head off a link, used my chain splitting tool and pushed a link through the chain. This tool wasn't particularly expensive, so it did actually start bending at one point. But you can see that the link's coming through, it's being pushed through. And then I put the tool back on and then push the link all the way through. As far as the tool would go, the pin goes through the right hand side of that tool. You can't see at the moment. And then take the tool off, and then it didn't fall out, so I had to get some pliers on here just to pull that off. And that's the chain broken. You can do it with a grinder, I just didn't want to do that. So I pulled the chain out. Some people say, oh, it's easier to link the new one and pull the whole thing through, but it's not a particularly difficult job on this bike anyway. So I had to use a Torx, a T40 Torx, and an 8mm a wrench fitted like this to get to the rear of the bolts. so I can get the nuts off, because they were spinning a little bit. You can't get anything else that's behind there, so you just need to find a way of stopping those bolts from spinning. And that's it. Once you've got them out, you can just lift that off. So it's probably easier than most normal bikes, to be honest, with the double-sided swing arm. Yeah, and then put the new sprocket straight back on. Put the nuts on. But I didn't torque them at the moment. I did the torquing all at the end, so I won't forget anything by doing it that way. Basically, I'm just putting them in, just fixing them in tight, but not torquing them up just yet. Right, front sprocket off. It's one of these silent sprockets. It's got like that rubber ring around it. So just fitting that on the splines. Put the new tab washer on that you bend over. And put the nut back on. Basically, I just did it hand tight to start with. Same reason this one's difficult to torque up. It's as I say, it's about 145 Newton meters, and you can't do it without the chain on anyway. So, right. So I laid the chain next to each other, and basically walked down the chain, and I noticed how much it stretched at the end of the day. So I'm just getting to the end of the chain, and we are almost a full link on stretch here. So it was definitely time to get that changed and give it a good clean up. Put the new chain on. It's quite easy to do on this bike. Just feed it through, pull it around the front over the sprocket. Once you've got it over the sprocket at the front, just pull it down and yeah, pull it over the back. And I hadn't actually adjusted the position of the rear wheel with the extenter for the chain tension. As you can see, I was too far away, couldn't get the chain to meet up, so I had to move the wheel forward a little bit. That still wasn't enough. I suppose I could have just moved the wheel completely forward to start with, but then I moved it a little bit more forward, and this time it matched up, so that fits. And now it's getting to the point of riveting the chain up. You get a rivet, which is a hollow rivet. There used to be full rivets back in the years, and you had to literally sort of rivet them in with a hammer and a weight, but you don't need that these days. These are hollow rivets. Grease up the O-rings on one side, pop the rivet in, the link, and then get some grease on those pins. Put the O-rings back on. I'm just wiping off the excess. It's not taking the grease off the inside. So a bit of grease around that pin, or those pins. And put the two O-rings on the pins. O-rings, X-rings, also, you know, there's different versions. So, yeah. And this outer link is very tight to get on. You won't get it on with your fingers, but you need to hold it in place somehow. I was just looking at the link to see if the writing is on it. Get it in the same direction as the other links. Didn't want it to look off, so just tried to push it on as hard as I could, and then give it a little squeeze with some pliers just to hold it in place. Just a little tweak, because it's either it's just going to fall off otherwise whilst you're messing about with the tool. And then I used the appropriate tool that actually came with the sprocket kit. And this tool has two functions. The first function is to squeeze the outer link onto the chain, and I'm just showing there's like a groove on the back of this plate which the links go into, and the inside there's like a little pin. That's for doing the peening over later. So it also comes with a little instruction box, a little instruction where they say put the tool on and then doing quarter turns on each screw to squeeze that outer link onto the two pins. And then I'll just to make sure I didn't overdo it, just kept removing the tool now and again, seeing how far the link had been pushed on. In this case it wasn't enough on that side, so tool back on and do it up some more. It does actually specifically say only do like quarter turns. You're not supposed to wind one screw up really tight. And once you've got contact on that outer link to the rubber O-ring on the inside, that's when they say stop. But it's difficult to see that with the tool on, so take it off and just see that you've gone through enough. Which in this case I have. You can see a link protruding, and I also move the chain around, just make sure you haven't pinched it, so that the link isn't squashed in and gone tight. Yeah, basically all you have to do now is peen those hollow pins over, and to do that you turn this tool over. Right, using the other side of the tool, there's that like peening head. And that has to go over the hollow pin. So once you've got your tool on, and make sure it's sitted correctly on that hollow pin, it was still a bit loose. Oh no, it wasn't seated properly, I don't think, so that's why I was undoing it and reseating it. There you go, so I'm just showing you now that I've actually got it now seated in the correct position, and you've got that peening head on one of the hollow pins. Just trying to focus in on that. There you go, you can see it sitting on there, look. Right, because it's that hollow pin that needs to be peened over. And on the instruction leaflet that's on the back of that tool, which I'm just about to show you, it does specifically say don't over torque it. It's a maximum of 17 Newton meters. Look like 27 on that picture there, but it does say 17. And then alternately top and bottom to close up, to pinch up that tool, to pin over that that hollow pin. I've got my tool set to 17. Once it clicks, it should be exactly as it should be with a pinned overhead. But you know, you have to remove the tool now and again just to check. So I've gone on full torque on this one. Just remove the tool, slide it back and see how that looks. Right, so that's that right one done. And then continue to do the left hand one as well. So once that was pinned over, now I have to check the chain tension. You've got your C-spanner for the extender to tighten or loosen the chain, depending which way you turn it. I'm looking for about 35mm complete slack from top to bottom. So move the chain up, move the chain down. It was about 35mm, which is okay. And now torque everything up. This is the pinch bolt for the rear extender on the swing arm, 55 Newton meters. Then what we got? Oh yeah, the rear sprocket. I think it wasn't much. I think it was 27 Newton meters on each of these, something like that. I'd have to look in the book. But the difficult one was the front one, and there are lots of, well, people give you lots of ideas of how to do this, but what I did was I put the bike on the centre stand, sat on it. Well, first of all I put the brake on. With the brake on I basically just tightened it up as far as I could. As I say, we're going for 145 Newton meters here, so it's quite a lot. And once I got as far as I could, I sat on the bike, stomped on the brake, put the tool on. It doesn't it doesn't look pretty, but it works. And then watch you don't slip off and smack yourself in the shin. There you go, 145 Newton meters have just clicked. I'm breathing heavily because it is a hard job. It's easier if you do it with a friend, or block the wheel, or put the bike down, put it in gear or whatever. Yeah, now basically peen over the locking tab. It's really thick metal, so it's quite hard to do. I've read on the internet about a lot of people who've stated that they noticed when they took that lock tab off that their nut was loose. It apparently is not uncommon. And then yeah, once you've done all that, put all your fairings back on. The front sprocket cover. Give it a good clean while you're here, because it's probably full of crud from the chain. This is like four 8mm bolts. This is. And yeah, the rear hugger back on. 5 bolts.